Have you ever stopped to notice the constant chatter in your head? Like a never-ending radio station, our minds are always broadcasting thoughts, opinions, and judgments. Don't believe everything you think tells us this is totally normal, but not always helpful. Imagine growing up in India, surrounded by vibrant colors, spicy food, and Bollywood music. Our senses absorb these experiences, shaping our perception of the world. Similarly, our thoughts act as filters, influencing how we see ourselves and everything around us. Just like a good Bollywood movie, our thoughts can be entertaining, dramatic, and even scary. But here's the catch. Not all thoughts are true or helpful. This book encourages us to become aware of our thoughts and question their validity. By understanding how our thoughts shape our reality, we can start to challenge the negative ones and replace them with more positive and empowering beliefs. This journey begins with recognizing that we are not our thoughts. We have the power to choose which ones to believe and which ones to let go of. Remember that time you were convinced you aced an exam, only to find out you barely passed? Our thoughts have a sneaky way of influencing our perception of reality. This isn't always a bad thing. Positive thinking can boost our confidence and help us achieve our goals. Let's say you're about to give a presentation at work. If you constantly think, "I'm going to mess this up," chances are you'll feel anxious and perform poorly. Conversely, if you focus on positive thoughts like, "I've prepared well and I can do this," you're more likely to succeed. Our thoughts act like a lens through which we view the world. A lens can be clear, distorted, or even rose-tinted. Similarly, our thoughts can be objective, biased, or overly optimistic. The key is to be aware of the lens we're using and how it's affecting our perception. Think of it like this. Two people can look at the same painting and have completely different interpretations. One might see beauty and tranquility, while the other sees chaos and confusion. Their thoughts shape their individual experiences. The same goes for our daily lives. Our thoughts and feelings are like two peas in a pod. They're inseparable. Have you ever noticed how a single negative thought can spiral into a whirlwind of negative emotions? It's like watching a dramatic Bollywood climax unfold in your mind. For instance, imagine you get passed over for a promotion at work. A thought might pop up, "I'm not good enough." This thought can trigger a cascade of negative feelings like disappointment, self-doubt, and even anger. Now, imagine a different scenario. You get passed over, but this time you think, "This wasn't the right opportunity for me. Something better is around the corner." This thought might lead to feelings of acceptance, hope, and even excitement for the future. The takeaway here is that our thoughts have a direct impact on our emotions. By becoming aware of this connection, we can start to choose thoughts that lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. Just like we carefully select ingredients for a delicious biryani, we can learn to choose thoughts that nourish our minds and lead to positive emotions. Our minds are like mischievous monkeys, constantly swinging from one thought to another. While some thoughts are harmless and fleeting, others can be downright unhelpful and even harmful to our well-being. One common culprit is the all-or-nothing thinking trap. It's like saying, "If I don't get 100% on this exam, I'm a complete failure." This type of thinking is rigid and leaves no room for mistakes or growth. Another suspect is catastrophizing, where we imagine the worst-case scenario in every situation. It's like spilling a little chai and thinking, "My life is over. Everything is ruined." This type of thinking amplifies our anxiety and prevents us from enjoying the present moment. Then there's the mind-reading trap, where we assume we know what others are thinking, usually negatively. It's like thinking, "My boss hates my presentation," when in reality they might be impressed. By learning to identify these common, unhelpful thinking patterns, we can start to challenge their validity and replace them with more balanced and realistic thoughts. Section 5. The What-If Game, Anxiety's Favorite Pastime. Have you ever found yourself playing the what-if game? It's like a never-ending Bollywood drama where our minds conjure up worst-case scenarios, leaving us feeling anxious and overwhelmed. What if I miss my flight? What if I fail this interview? What if I'm not good enough? These what-if thoughts can send us spiraling into a vortex of worry and fear. The problem with the what-if game is that it focuses on things that are outside of our control. It's like trying to control the weather. It's futile and exhausting. Instead of getting swept away by these hypothetical anxieties, we can choose to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. Just like a skilled chef focuses on the ingredients and the recipe, we can focus on the present moment and take practical steps towards our goals. Section 6. Challenging your inner critic. Don't believe everything you think. We all have that inner voice that loves to criticize and judge. It's like having a grumpy auntie living in our heads, constantly pointing out our flaws and reminding us of our past mistakes. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You'll never be good enough. These negative thoughts can chip away at our self-esteem and prevent us from living our lives to the fullest. But here's the thing. Our thoughts are not facts. Just because our inner critic says something doesn't make it true. It's like believing everything you see on a Bollywood gossip show, not always accurate. The next time your inner critic pipes up, try this. Challenge its negativity with positive affirmations. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," try saying, "I am capable, I am worthy, and I am enough." Remember, you are the director of your own mind. You have the power to silence the inner critic and rewrite the script with more compassionate and empowering thoughts. Section 7. Mindfulness matters. Tuning into the present moment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Our minds are constantly racing, jumping from one thought to another, rarely taking a moment to pause and simply be. Mindfulness is like hitting the pause button on a chaotic Bollywood dance sequence. It's about bringing our attention to the present moment without judgment, noticing our thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them. Think of it like savoring a delicious gulab jamun. Instead of gobbling it down in a hurry, mindfulness encourages us to slow down, appreciate the aroma, the taste, the texture, and fully experience the present moment. Practicing mindfulness can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, noticing the sensations of our body, or paying attention to the sounds around us. By cultivating mindfulness, we can train our minds to become more aware, focused, and present. Section 8. Creating a kinder mind, replacing negative thoughts. Our minds are like gardens. If we constantly plant seeds of negativity, our gardens will be filled with weeds of self-doubt, fear, and unhappiness. But if we cultivate seeds of positivity, our gardens will blossom with flowers of joy, love, and fulfillment. Just like we wouldn't let garbage pile up in our homes, we shouldn't let negative thoughts clutter our minds. When we notice a negative thought, we can choose to replace it with a more positive and empowering one. Instead of thinking, "I'm going to fail this exam," we can try thinking, "I'm going to do my best and learn from this experience." Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," we can affirm, "I am worthy, I am capable, and I am enough." Creating a kinder mind takes practice and patience. It's like learning a new Bollywood dance routine. It takes time, effort, and repetition to master the steps. But with persistence, we can rewire our brains for greater happiness and well-being. Section 9. Conclusion. Freedom from the thought factory. Don't believe everything you think reminds us that we are not our thoughts. We are the observers of our thoughts, and we have the power to choose which ones to believe and which ones to let go of. By becoming aware of our thoughts, challenging their validity, and replacing negative ones with positive affirmations, we can break free from the tyranny of our own minds. Just like a bird soaring through the sky, we can experience a sense of freedom and lightness when we detach ourselves from the weight of our thoughts. This journey of self-discovery isn't about achieving a state of perpetual bliss, but rather about developing a more compassionate and understanding relationship with ourselves. It's about recognizing that our thoughts are simply thoughts, not ultimate truths. By embracing the wisdom of don't believe everything you think, we can embark on a transformative journey towards greater self-awareness, inner peace, and lasting happiness.